Ernesto, ¿cómo estás?
You're listening to the Burnt Offerings podcast, a show about cigars, friends, faith, and general tomfoolery. Do not take these guys too seriously. Now grab a stick, settle in, and let's set fire to foot. This is Burnt Offerings.
Welcome back, friends, to another episode of the Burnt Offerings podcast. Boy, do we have a great evening in store for you tonight.
Yeah, can I say that it's nice and cool outside? And why is it going to be nice? Because, Ryan, who's here?
Jesus.
Oh, come on. I mean, yes, but that's not who I meant.
That's funny because I didn't receive that as him
What an
actually
introduction.
naming Jesus.
What an
I
introduction.
received it as him being like, Jesus, Stephen. Like,
Shut up. It was my turn to start.
Yeah, that's how I took
You
it.
blew my intro, but we're rolling with it now. We're doing it live. Now, this is going to be a fun night. We're exploring a stick that I think is new to all of us, the Cuba Aliados Cabinet from Oliva Cigar Company. But as I understand it, this stick has quite the story, which we will get into later. But Stephen, to your point a moment ago, we've got a friend with us tonight.
We do.
Who do we got with us this evening?
Hey, guys.
Hi, Pete.
hey,
How's it going?
Hey,
Good.
Pete.
Hey, guys.
Pete, we're really glad that you have joined us tonight.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. Admittedly, you're a little bit of a cigar novice, but what's exciting and the reason you're here is you are a coffee expert. And so we are, in addition to our Cuba Aliados cigar, we're also enjoying some fresh brewed coffee tonight. Tell us a little bit about what we're drinking.
Absolutely. So when Patrick sent over the description of the cigar we were smoking tonight, I unfortunately didn't have any Nicaraguan coffee on hand to bring with me. So we went for the next best thing with a little coffee from El Salvador.
love this.
Right? We wanted a coffee that was going to complement the cigar, which we're going to learn a little bit more about the tasting notes and everything with the cigar here soon. But this El Salvadorian coffee, it's got a toffee sweetness, little dark chocolate, right?
Okay.
To balance that out with the bitterness and some red apple. So it's got acidity, but it's not like that sharp Ethiopian acidity, which is berry and citrus.
Okay.
It's milder, right? It's a little more pleasant, a little more malic.
And we should point out, so people don't think you're just some weird guy that sources
I am.
various origins of coffee in his house. You you own and run a coffee shop.
Roastery.
A roastery.
Yeah,
Okay.
coffee roastery. Correct. Yep.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah. No, that's okay. Let
where
it
I
slip
get my-
one time.
It's where I get my coffee. So to me, it's a coffee shop.
Right.
It is a
Yeah.
coffee
Well,
shop.
we
It's
have
both.
we have multiple coffee shops, but we also roast and do wholesale and all that as
Yeah.
well. So
Well, I'm about to have my first sip of this coffee.
I've been jonesing
please.
to take a
Yep.
take a
I think it's
sniff and a
cool
drink.
enough now. Forgot to mention it is a medium roast, maybe slightly on the lighter side of medium.
Oh, you're not
Right.
kidding about that
Mhm.
coffee.
Yeah, it's
Gonna be
all
real
over it.
sweet.
It's good.
I like that a lot.
So we've
Well,
talked
but-
about how coffee is similar to whiskey, which is similar to cigars. The idea of it comes out of the ground, it's flavored by the things that happen in the soil. So these things
Yeah.
do go together.
Well, and I think
yeah.
for cigar and coffee especially, it's even more closely related because with either one, you're burning it. There's some element of
Oh,
burning
yeah.
it, right? And
I
so
didn't think
you
about
have to
that.
taste through something that's maybe a little unpleasant, the bitterness or whatever that comes from it, to find the tasting notes that you're looking for. So that it has a little more of a relation there,
That's a good point.
where there is some you got to learn that, right? You've got to learn to be able to taste past that bitter, the smoky, the unpleasant to find the flavor notes under.
Boy, that'll preach.
My dad said the same pickup line to my mom back in.
She had to see through the burnt
Yeah.
They didn't see
Yeah.
through the burnt unpleasantness to the sweet bits.
And did she find it?
No.
Yeah, there are definitely overlaps. There's overlaps between the coffee growing world and the tobacco growing world.
Absolutely.
Similar regions of the
similar
world.
regions, similar cultures as well, and even down to the plant, right? Growing coffee plants under shade grown, just like growing tobacco.
Wait,
under
they
shade
shade grown coffee?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Is that a
that's
thing,
the
really?
big thing. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they talk about it like shade grown, like they talk about in tobacco?
Listed, it's listed on, if you buy the green coffee from a producer, it's listed as shade grown. Oh, wow. That's a big selling.
Well, the coffee is great. I'm excited to enjoy it with the cigar. We should probably talk a little bit more about the cigar and start to get into it. Patrick, you, I think, were the one who originally identified the cigar and brought it to us. What can you tell us about it? What should we be expecting tonight?
Here's the backstory. Cuba Aliados is a legacy cigar brand. There was a bit of a boutique brand, kind of came up in the cigar boom of the late 80s, early 90s, and then faded just as quickly. And a couple of years back, Oliva, actually like Oliva's parent company, purchased the brand. They purchased the name rights of this now, defunct cigar brand on the idea that they were going to bring it back. And so the urban myth is that E.P. Carrillo, who did the blend on this stick, the urban myth is, or maybe not myth, is that he loved the original Cuba Aliados so much that when he heard that Oliva bought the brand, he went to them and said, "Please, will you let me blend the original back for you?" As kind of a passion project. And so kind of a rare crossover, right? You got E.P. Carrillo, who's well established in his own right and also built another brand before that, going and blending for Oliva. It's kind of a cool collaboration.
Yeah.
That gave you nothing about the actual stick and everything about the story.
No, I love that story though, because we've enjoyed both a couple of E.P. Carrillo sticks and the Oliva Black Swan 2 episodes back, and so this little fun marriage of opportunity, I'm rather excited about.
What we're smoking tonight is a Toro, 6-inch by 54 ring gauge. It's rated at medium full, and here's why: because it's Nicaraguan filler, Nicaraguan binder.
Yes, please.
Ecuadorian Habano on the wrapper. So,
pepper, here we come.
Yeah, that's exactly. We're about to ride the pepper train, I believe.
All right. I know it's a torpedo, but I'm still cutting the V.
You're V cutting with the torpedo.
Of course,
a bold move, sir.
It's the same move I always make. It's sweet.
Oh my goodness!
Little. Is it chocolate? What am I tasting?
Yeah, it's almost like a cherry cocoa powder.
Now listen, I had just drank coffee, so I don't know.
Well, that's the fun,
maybe
right?
my whole brain is going to be reset.
Our whole palate.
Because the whole palate's going to be like, you already got something else in your mouth. That sounds inappropriate.
Yeah. The smelling along the cigar is like sweet hay, but the cold draw brings a whole new... Yeah, I'm getting like almost a bittersweet chocolate cocoa powder.
I was feeling to say, I feel like I'm like Saturday morning cartoons. There's something about cocoa pebbles or something going on.
I'm almost getting an acidic like Sour Patch Kid on the tongue.
Yeah, you're right.
You're gonna fit right into this podcast.
This is great.
Pete's gonna be great.
Pete's already talking about Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah. So the pepper is there. I'm getting like a malt, like a chocolate, like a malty.
That's that powdery.
Yeah.
Like, yes.
Okay.
Maybe that's why it was Saturday morning cartoons.
Well, that's what we were getting on
Like,
the cold
like a
draw.
melted malt ball. Like, yeah.
I appreciate the pepper. You're saying it is subtle for me right now.
Yeah,
I know
it's
it's only been
not
2
hard.
puffs in.
Same.
It's kind of back of the throat,
Mm-hmm.
not on the front end.
Can I get a top off on the coffee here?
Absolutely, you can.
Since we're doing that, I'll take one too.
Need a heater up?
Please. Let me jump in and say, as the guy who's never smoked cigars and got coffee at the same time,
How's it treating you?
I'm in love. And the acidity of the coffee is popping off the chart now that I've had a couple of puffs of a cigar. I don't know if that's what was supposed to happen, but it did it.
Yeah.
Stephen, you brought up cereal. And I just think that's kind of interesting. A spot like in your families, what were the traditions growing up that you remember? Did you have any, or was it maybe you didn't? And maybe when did that become clear? If that's the case,
We were traditionalists.
All through my childhood, if you were having a bowl of cereal, the bowl was the large country crock
The
butter
Tupperware.
container,
butter, quote unquote butter,
Butter,
margarine,
Right.
container.
Oleo.
Yes, the spreadable plastic.
Yeah.
Like that was my childhood cereal bowl for years. Was
That's
just
amazing.
one of those.
What did you do with the milk when you were done with your cereal?
Poured it out.
Yeah.
Dumped it.
The dumpers.
I was
Yeah.
not a slurper of
you
the
weren't
milk.
the drinkers, right?
No, some people like the fruity flavored milk after. That's not.
Ugh.
Well, it's a whole industry now. The cereal milk. You got desserts and lattes and all this stuff.
Patrick, were you a drinker of the milk?
We were drinkers because we were expected not to waste that precious milk.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard since I first kind of discovered this two people in the world, I've now learned that there's actually a third group, and that group were people that were hard enough off that they had to pour the milk back into the carton after using it. And apparently that's a bit of a thing. Like
Listen,
that's not a one-off.
We were poor, but we weren't that poor.
That's right.
Were you milk first and then cereal, or were you cereal and then milk?
Cereal, then milk.
What savages are pouring their milk first?
Who's pouring their milk first?
So I would have been an older preteen into my teenage years. After Thanksgiving, lunch, mealtime, around 2 p.m. Many of the guys that were gathered, from the extended family, we go out rabbit hunting.
Our family, and still, since my grandma is still alive, she's 95 or 6.
Jeez, look at that.
Amazing.
We are still getting together as an extended family on that side of the family because there's reason to. But we do, after a meal, we do a big family game of takeaway bingo, or rob your neighbor, maybe isn't another way to do it. But the entire family, my grandpa used to call the numbers. Now it's my Uncle George, since my grandpa's passed. And everybody brings
$50,
$5 gifts, little gifts, tchotchkes. And once all the gifts are gone, you get a bingo, you get a gift. Once all the gifts are gone off the table, then you go around and you steal them from them.
Sounds a weird Thanksgiving white elephant present.
Yeah,
party.
pretty much. And it's a great way to really piss off your kids.
Yeah.
Because
done.
because their great uncle George or Dave is stealing gifts from them that they want, and then they open it up and it's a scented candle that they have no use for. But it is something that they look forward to every year that we've been doing since I was a kid. So it's cool. Like now my kids are doing that, and my grandma is still around facilitating that for them. Their great grandma.
Some interesting flavor going on here as we burn through the first third. Can't quite put my finger on it. I've retrohaled a couple times, which has brought, I don't know what it is, but it has brought about a particular flavor note that, it's like I've experienced this somewhere. Can't quite grab onto it yet, but it's not unfamiliar.
You get some of these flavors sometimes in coffee, and I kind of describe it as like a dusty fruit. It's got this almost like, it is like a dried fruit, but it's got this like dusty, not earthy flavor to it that mellows it out, and it's still sweet, but it's dusty. I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah, this is really interesting.
They're suggesting notes of black pepper, cedar, toasted nuts, and a touch of cream.
Okay.
You got that?
Bold but balanced.
I would agree with that.
Yep.
But Ryan, pepper not overwhelming at all.
Mine's starting to hit it just right on the very first puff in.
Okay.
It almost like a, as long as a clap, just, half a second, and then the spice is gone. It's just right when I inhale, take that first draw into my mouth.
Fellas, we're getting to about the middle of this, the stick here, this Aliados. And are you noticing any shifts in flavor, or what are you picking up anything new or unique, different?
Maybe a little more of that pepper.
Okay.
It's lingering a little longer.
I'm waiting. I've not really experienced.
You know
any
where I noticed
pepper
I
yet.
was getting it? I told you I was getting it on that hit. I'm also getting just a gentle tingle on the lips.
Yeah, I'm not really getting, nor have I gotten
Never
any
complained
pepper,
about that.
and I'm okay with it. Again, it's a
You like a peppery stick.
Yeah, it's not a well-kept secret on the podcast here that I prefer, a heavy pepper Nicaraguan type of a stick.
Yeah.
But this flavor, all-around flavor profile is still engaging enough that I don't need that. I would like to.
Bored.
Yeah, I'm not bored. That's right. I'd like to have it. I wouldn't mind seeing how that plays, but
this is not a question, so you can fill up my coffee cup. But I ran out of coffee about 15 minutes ago, and the creaminess is sticking out a little bit more.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
Because I think the acidity of the coffee might have masked that for me, and now this is much more creamy than it was early.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting.
For me.
So, Pete,
Yep.
coffee roasting, how did you find your way to that? Speaking of traditions or something, did you grow up around coffee? Have you always liked coffee? Did you just one day decide what happens if I set these beans on fire? Like, how did you get into the business?
Do you have a bachelor's degree in coffee?
No, I don't. Sports broadcasting.
Oh, so close.
Things.
So close.
Yep. No, I didn't drink coffee until mid-20s, probably.
Okay.
And I'm 38 now, for reference. No, there was something that it started with
5'10", blue eyes,
6 foot. Excuse me.
Oh,
Yeah, that's important. No, my dad started this. So the roastery that I am a part owner of now is owned and started by my dad, Doug, who we talked about earlier. And he is a bit of a obsessive compulsive person, and so he likes coffee and just got obsessed with it. And as that tends to do, you get bored with just drinking it.
Yeah.
And so he started to roast his own because he couldn't find anything that really was as good as he wanted it to be.
do you hope your kids, like you got father, son.
Yeah.
Are you hoping that your kids or his other grandkids are part of this story? Or
Stephen, these kids pour milk first.
You're right. You're
Okay.
right. They're trendsetters. They're trendsetters, is what you're saying.
I'm not saying that.
I think
Communists.
I think here's where I'm at on that. And maybe this changes as I get older, but I don't care too much if my kids get involved. Again, as I get older, and it's like, if this thing keeps growing and I'm doing it until I'm older and at the point of I want to hand it off to somebody, at that point, it might be like, gosh, I really hope one of my kids takes it. But no, I want them to find what they're passionate about and do it. If that happens to be this, great.
Yeah.
My daughter,
and they're still pretty young. So,
my oldest is 10, and she has already declared, I'm not going to college. I'm going to work at Goldberry, and you're going to teach me.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, that's amazing.
That's
I
great.
would be happy to do that. I think in the next couple of years, that is going to change drastically. Her desire to work with dad.
Puberty has nothing to do with this.
So, we'll see. But I am not going to push that on them at all.
Yeah.
This is, and this is going to sound counterintuitive, but coffee is not even necessarily my passion. My passion is starting and running a business. And coffee is something that I have tapped into my dad's passion on that. And I have been able to learn as much as I need to learn and more about it and can be knowledgeable about it. But I didn't do this because of coffee. This was an opportunity to grow and run a business.
This actually makes you guys pretty good partners in that way, right?
Yeah.
Kind of complimentary of each other in that manner.
When dad started this, and he makes jokes now where he says, all I wanted to do was roast coffee. And so when I came on board, the idea was we are going to be strictly a coffee roastery. We're going to supply coffee to other coffee shops and churches and markets, but we are going to roast. That's all we're going to do. And when we decided we needed to move the operation out of the back of a yoga studio, because we were fitting our roasting time around vinyasas or whatever, and making sure that we weren't interrupting their chi.
Doesn't sound like you're into yoga.
I'm not into yoga, but I'm not into yoga. We found a space that had enough room for us to roast, and then there was extra room in the front, and we just said, well, let's offer coffee. Simple coffee, pour over coffee at the front of the space.
I remember the pitch from your dad. I mean,
I think I
were
was
we
in
all
the
there
room. I think I
for the
was in the
opening?
room, yeah.
For the kind of
that this will go into a tradition. Like, remember
Yeah,
when
the-
he
the
when he-
blessing
when he
of the
blessed
floor.
blessed the floor? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're there, but his pitch was exactly this of like, well, I just figured people could come. I'm doing a bad Doug impression. But
You do a
I
bad
just,
Doug.
I just figured people could come in. I'll be here roasting anyway, so why not let them have a cup of coffee while I'm here?
You don't
Well,
smell like
and
Ronald
it
Reagan.
was not even, I'll let them have a cup of coffee. It was, if they come in and ask, I'll maybe give them a cup of coffee. And so I think the compromise, and I was like, well, I think we need something to showcase the coffee. Like, people are not going to buy the coffee bean form if they don't get to try it. So the compromise that we came up with was we will do pour over coffee. And we are not going to get into lattes and espresso because those things are not, that's not coffee. Coffee is a cup of brewed coffee. And so that's what we did for probably 2 years when we first opened our shop. And it did well. It did better than we thought, especially in a town like we are in, where smaller town, you don't have the coffee culture where people are like pour overs are a thing that people are expecting or wanting.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of education involved. And then we eventually hit a ceiling where it's like, okay, I think we've captured the pour over audience. And I don't know that there's a lot more that we can do from here. And people kept coming in and asking for lattes and espresso. Saying we don't, people would leave. And so we started to get to that point where it's like, okay, clearly the market is asking for something. And we said, all right, we're going to do it, but we are going to do it traditional. We're going to do it simple. We're going to do it right. So we spent a lot of time and effort in finding the right equipment and training ourselves in what espresso is. And now we've got a full espresso bar that's like a traditional Italian. You said a 3-ounce latte earlier. Traditional sizes of drinks and things like that. And we've got the syrups and we've got the flavors, but we've been able to keep the coffee the hero for the most part. Do espresso really, really well. And now my dad is like, I mean, espresso is as much traditional coffee as anything else now.
Well, I'm curious, as we are kind of dead in the middle of this cigar, it got acidic for me, and I'm wondering if anybody else picked up on it.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Is it my coffee or is it?
I know.
Well,
I got it.
yeah,
No.
and that. So my first thought was, and it was acidic in kind of an unpleasant way. And so I don't know if you noticed, but I burned off the foot and tried to burn out, and it burned a little bit. So I got rid of some of those impurities. And usually when I do that, that next draw is pretty fresh and vibrant. The original starting flavors are back, and that wasn't the case. It was really just acidity. And I did wonder how much is the coffee having an impact there. And I looked at our notes at what the middle third tasting notes are, and I think they're there. Again, according to the manufacturer, in the middle third of the cigar, there's toasted cedar, and I think that's the predominant acidic taste, that cedary profile, nuts and earth, and if I'm being totally honest, if the coffee is saving it at this point, I guess is the best way to say it. Like it was unpleasant enough. I'm like, I might have let this go out, but the coffee is helping to it just kind of balance out that not so great flavor. And so honestly, now I don't want to prejudge too early, right? Because it started off great.
Right.
I'd love to try this cigar
Without
all
now.
by itself.
Yeah, I
right?
felt that now too.
So,
So I'm going to introduce something weird. So y'all go with me here.
sure.
But my gut's involved, which normally without the coffee, but every once in a while I'll have a little burp,
A little burp.
and it comes back, and it's good. It's because it's just coffee. It's not whatever I had for dinner. It's none of that. It's just, there's just a little bit, and then it just brings it back up. And I'm like, that's really nice.
Thank you. Finally, I'm not the weird one. I'm not the guy sharing a dumb story. Like, no. Thank you.
I was happy to go with you for a minute.
I know.
Burps
but
tastes good.
For in a different way than what Ryan just said, I am not having any kind of negative experience. I'm having actually an amazing experience, and it's only going to be positive. And then the question would be, well, is the coffee winning the game here? Is this the coffee that's just bringing? And so the next time, because this stick, I will buy it again.
I've got a few more of them. I'd be happy to help you arrange a procurement.
Would I be as excited without a cup of coffee?
I will toss out there real quick as I enter into the last third that acidity is gone now for me.
Well, that's
a good point.
In this third here, I still catching chocolatey. If I retrohale and get it up in the top of my palate, it's sweeter for me.
You guys ever professionally or personally bucked against tradition?
Oh, God.
Either maybe you accidentally did it or intentionally did it. You just said maybe in your job, in your, many of us have been around the church world. Maybe there's a spot there. Or even in a family world where you just said, you know what? Nope.
Not gonna do it.
Not today.
Again, I wouldn't say this was a tradition per se. I was the first, so I'm the oldest of my siblings, and was the first to go to college. And that move, I think, facilitated a lot of buckings away, or shifts away from things, if you will, because a lot of my family was born and raised in their hometown and still live there, have always lived there. Haven't explored out much. I haven't lived in my hometown since I left for school freshman year.
Yeah.
I left. I came home, of course, over summers. But then upon graduation, got married, moved to a different state, lived there for 18 years, moved back to my home state, but not to my hometown, and like, I think about this every once in a while. Like, I can go back to my hometown. I can go to the cemetery and I can find the sections in the cemetery where, my dad's side of the family are buried, and where he, in my mom's side of the family. And I think to myself, like, well, I'll probably just be buried in the town that I'm in now because that's where I live. I'm not going back home, for that sort of a thing. But because of that experience, I now can look back and I have different political views in a lot of my family. I have different religious views in a lot of my family. I have just different social kind of views on things. And again, it's because I've lived in different places, had different experiences, been around different sorts of people, as opposed to, the people that I grew up with. And, my friends were the kids of my parents' friends who were their friends, that type of a thing. Like, I don't
You're
have
describing me.
I think the weird experience is what Ryan and I experienced, which was the leave and go and not come back. Like, I think that's less common than the stick around and be from the place where you're from.
I think it's generational. Yeah, I think Gen X did that a lot.
That's probably true.
Yeah. It was interesting to me. My dad had enough college experience that I remember he wanted me to do a summer factory job.
Which you did.
Which I did between freshman and sophomore year of college. I worked 3 months at a factory. And part of that was to, sock away some good money.
Yeah.
But also that honestly was the turning point for me where I took college seriously. I didn't want to spend the rest of my days in a factory. That 3 months was plenty to help me come to the grips of, I need to get serious. I need to become a student and academic. I barely made it into college with the grades that I had. I entered in on probation of, I had to hit a certain GPA. I could only take a few classes. I had to do well. or the college was going to release me. And so that summer of working in the factory was all it took to convince me this is the way forward for me. Get serious about it, and very much became a student.
And for you going into ministry, was that even more of a black sheep thing for the family, or was there some...
yeah.
Dude, great question.
I can go down that road.
Because college is one thing, but what you went to school for,
right?
I imagine is
you
even
guys
more.
have a different story than I do on that. Yeah,
Gosh, yeah.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah. I mean, there was no ministry. There was no church background, especially on my dad's side. A little bit on my mom's side with her parents, my grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan, you're about to burn your fingers.
I am.
Yeah, you're down.
So
I'm
we
beginning of final third. I think you're at end of final third.
shall we bring the smoke here to some thoughts? Maybe
I finally found the
Got the
spice.
pepper. Yeah.
I keep bumping into the creaminess here at the end. That the spice has never been overwhelming to me.
Yeah.
And it's just been delightful from beginning to end, and I really enjoyed it. I know the coffee probably had something to do with it, but I've been out of coffee again for a little while. So,
Yeah, I feel like this final third, I've not been partaking of the coffee, so I feel like maybe the final third is more the true essence of the cigar, if you will, and I do like it. So all that to say, Patty, we're gonna have to try this one again. I'm not mad that we added the coffee at all.
I
think it was a neat experiment that Brian would like to actually try more of it. Gents, we need to rate this.
Land the plane. I can go first.
Yeah.
I'm at a 7. I think it's possible I actually might rate it higher outside of the coffee. It's good. It does the things that most of his sticks have done for me. And so that's why I rate it pretty favorably.
I have not smoked bad Carrillo so far.
Come on now.
I've had 4.
Yeah.
And so, again, I don't think my feelings have been hidden on this discussion about this experience. So it's pretty high for me. But I'd put it in the 8 range for sure.
Yeah.
If it was all by itself, and maybe I don't know if it would be higher or not, but it was a pretty enjoyable experience.
I'm gonna be in the realm of Patty with around a 7 and a 7.5.
Okay.
I think I would like to smoke it again when I'm not getting over a cold. I feel like I lost probably some stuff, so I'm going to go on things like it was easy to smoke in terms of the draw was easy. And if you want to ruin a cigar, for me, it's something that is hard to draw that you're working really, and I'm sure that's with everybody. So that'll ruin it, whether I like the flavor or not. So this was easy to smoke. I don't feel any harsh leftover anything in my mouth.
Yeah.
I don't have any bad aftertaste from it. And I liked the beginning. I love the malt, graham crackery, creamy. Like that. I think if that's kind of my wheelhouse with a cigar.
It's good to know because I got some suggestions for you going forward now.
Perfect.
Nice.
I can do pepper here and there. Like it's fine if it's not too bold, but I like to live in that realm. But I didn't feel like it was something that really something super unique and special about this that I'm going to seek this one out. But yeah, good.
Kind of wished I would have offered up my suggestion first so we don't end on a low note.
Boop, 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 boom.
I'm a 6.5.
Yeah, I figured that's where that was going.
Yeah. Right.
The middle killed it for me.
Yeah.
Again, it redeemed itself at the end. That's what pulled it up into the 6.5 range.
So you were living in the 4s before that.
Now I was a solid 6 for sure. 6.5.
Yep.
Totally open to trying it again. Construction wise, we didn't it was well constructed.
Yeah.
Burned fairly even for kind of a rainy, late September evening. All of that was good. Just that middle flavor souring for me really kind of turned me off, and it was hard to pull myself out of that. So
totally understandable.
6.5, but willing to try it again. And the coffee, I would give an 8.5 to. I really enjoyed the coffee tonight. Well, Pete, thanks for being with us tonight. It was a pleasure to have you on. Patrick, Stephen, good to be with you guys as well this evening. The Cuba Aliados Cabinet. Get an opportunity to smoke one. We'd love to hear your thoughts over on our Reddit page,
Burnt offerings.
Burnt Offerings. Until next time, smoke them if you got them.
Oh,
That's great advice.
And we look forward to doing some stuff.
I don't know what you're going to be doing. I may not come for that part.
Stuff.
That's so good.
I don't know how to land this thing.
Thank you for listening to Burnt Offerings. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite platform and let us know what you thought of the show.